Alright guys, I've been getting this together. I got the car backed up. I'm pretty sure I've got everything in place. I'm about to turn it on and do a lift just to make sure everything's straight and good. Hopefully everything is good. I did do a little test lift a minute ago, not with the car, but I think we're maybe a 1/4 inch off, which I can adjust once I get. I want to get some stretch on the cable and adjust it from there, but I think it's the clicks are just about a 1/4 inch off on the safety clicks. But here we go. Alright guys, that's as high as I'm going. The trunk lid is actually hitting the top of the tent. And I'm 5'10", and the bottom of the car is probably level with my eye. So, you know, whatever. 5'2", 5'3". So, that's awesome. Oh, this is great. This will work out perfect. I can get in here and actually work on some stuff. Let me go ahead and get y'all down. Get y'all so you can see some more stuff in here. So, yeah. So all this suspension's coming out. Let's see here. The pads on good. Pads on good. Pads are all good. So all this here is getting taken out. This here is getting unbolted. This is where the new subframe from Control Freak's gonna attach. Let's get back here and look at this rear end real quick. I've yet to really get right here and look at this. Oh yeah, it's perfect. So yeah, I've got to get the rest of the. I didn't even take the rest of the exhaust off yet. But get in here and where's my light? There we go. I've got to take these tires off and measure from face to face on this rear end so I can get the correct rear end from Speedway. They have the forward 9-inch that you can order in different widths. So I've got to see what the face is and get the correct one. And then I've also got to get the it looks pretty decent. I think all that there will clear up good. Doesn't look like there's too much rust up in there. Okay. But like I said, I've got to get the rear suspension from Control Freak, and I've got to weld part of it to the new rear end, and then I've got to get in here and weld some of it up to the frame. They have it measured and marked where you have to actually weld it to. It's a 4-link, so I have to be working on that some, but I can get the springs off and stuff. Yeah, this will clean up good. All right. Well, now at least I can work on it a little bit. All right. This is awesome. This is what I was looking forward to, being able to get up underneath here and work, and I'm barely having to crouch. All right, guys. And you can see this right here is that plate they put in. I didn't even see it when I was that, but you can see right here, there's screw there, screw there. This is that one that's in the rear floorboard area, but they put rubber sealer on the bottom of it here. I didn't notice it until I got the carpet up. So we'll go ahead and pull that out, and I'll repair this. Looks like they did a little repair here too. But oh yeah, I was going to show you those subframe connectors. You can see the frame stops right here. This is where the passenger side seat comes through and sits. And so the frame stops there and it starts up again right here. So those subframe connectors go from there back, and I'll be able to weld those in. And that'll strengthen up the floor also, and make this car where it won't twist when you give it acceleration. Because the motor I'm putting in this thing is going to be a lot more than it's going to be a lot more than what it came out with, definitely. I told y'all I was going to do those electronic, the electric motors for the windows on like that. So I ended up getting some of those. You can find them on Amazon. They're actually like those little rubber tubes that run from a body into the door. I got a set of those, and those are going to work out fine because right now I only need 2 wires going through. But I've also thought about the thought, since I'm already doing all this work to it, putting electric door locks on it also. And there's kits out there for that too, so that would be just another couple of wires. And I figured I'd get one of those rubber pass-throughs that would go from this door to the body frame, and that way that would all be situated. All right, I just got a lot of cleanup to do, a lot of welding. You can see I pretty much got I got to sandblast all of that right there and fix all that. And a lot of this is going to be just cutting out sections and folding in new sheet metal and welding. It's going to be fun, that's for sure. All right, this is actually the first time I'd actually been able to get underneath here and actually look at this. And like I said, most of all every bit of this year's going away, and then I'll be able to do some more work. I got some rust right here I've got to fix, but that's just undercoating flaking off right there. But I'm gonna get in here and strengthen this up. Yeah, all right. I gotta get the rest of the fuel lines and brake lines and all of that off too. I didn't want to get underneath there and mess with all that just yet, but now I got it up in the air, it'll be a lot easier. There's still leaves and junk falling out of those drain holes. You know what? I'm definitely going to go ahead and weld up those cowl intakes. There's no sense in that, since I'm not got any fresh air coming into the cab anymore that way. I'm just going to weld up those cowl intakes and be done with it. There's no point in it. That's also those cowl intakes. They would come down, and on the other side of this box, not only is that where your heater drew fresh air from, your AC system drew fresh air from, there's actually a fresh air intake in the floor here on the side, and that's where a lot of your water intrusion came from also. You've actually got on your driver's side a flapper door down at the bottom next to your left foot, and that you can open and close for fresh air. But I'm going to seal that off. I'm going to seal all these ports here off. I'm going to seal every bit of that off so there's no water intrusion whatsoever. And the seals will seal up the rest of the doors and everything like that. So yeah, awesome. This will make it so much easier to get all this work done. But hey guys, it's fixing to get serious. We're fixing to tear this thing apart. Lucky guy am I. I am lucky. This is going to be awesome. I remember my first one I did not have anything like this, and oh man, that was a lot of work doing everything off your back. All right, well, I'm gonna get going. I gotta get some stuff done. We're gonna go ahead and let it down. Oop, I gotta pull the pins. So you got, I almost forgot. You got these pins on. It's the cable that pulls the pins on both sides, and now you can lower all the way down. So when you're lifting, those close in. So every time you hear a click, that's a safety. And now it'll let down the entire way. You can see the cables moving down there. Those come through and connect to each other on both sides, share the load, and even everything out. Car does go slow down, which is fine, but it's going slower than normal because the car only weighs about half of what it would. With no motor, trans, body panels, interior in this thing. The thing weighs probably about 1,200 pounds or more less than what it normally weighs. I know the engine and trans in this car are supposedly like 800 pounds together. You got to think the drive shaft, radiator, the entire interior, all the bumpers, the fenders, extra body trim. It adds up, especially when all this stuff is metal. But I'm gonna go ahead and let her on down to the bottom. Wanted to readjust one of those feet, the one on the passenger side or the driver side rear. But hey guys, this is gonna work out awesome. I'm excited, if y'all can't tell. And this is those cowl intakes I was saying. I'm gonna go ahead and weld those up, delete them, which entails probably slicing just on the outskirts of them, and cutting this section out, then cutting this small section out. That's for the windshield wiper, and the other windshield wipers on the other side of the other cowls. But I'm going to cut all this out, weld it all up with the sheet metal. That way there's no water intrusion. The windshield wiper motor sits right here. It's gasketed in place. There's actually a groove right here underneath it, so water would travel in and travel out. But what would happen is leaves and junk would get built up down there, and then water would start backing up inside here, and then you would end up with water coming over this weir and into, I don't know where it is. You can probably see it right there. That intake. That's the air intake for the heater box. But then it would do that, and then it would go down into these right here, and those drains at the bottom would get plugged up, and water would build up and then spill over into the floorboards also. Everything was okay as long as you kept them clear, but if you didn't keep them clear, you had water in your interior. So since I don't need the fresh air, if I need fresh air, I can roll the windows down. I'm going to delete these. Now, I kind of like the look of them, so I don't know if I'm going to completely cut them out or if I'm just going to come up from behind and weld in sheets of metal behind them. I've seen people do that too, where they just take and they slide in sheets of metal and they sort of weld up the gaps, but it's a lot of welding. And you have to be careful. You have to weld just a little bit here at a time because you'll warp them. But then I've seen other people take and just cut out the entire sections and go back in with a piece of sheet metal and weld it flat. But there's a curve here, so you have to sort of keep the curve. You have to fold it and bend it. But anyways, all right, well, that was a lift. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be an awesome help. And as you can see, right now I've just got a plug here. I've got this extension cord. It's a 250 volt, 50 amp extension cord. It's 30 foot long, but that's pretty much, I'm using my welder plug plus the extension cord for this. I figure only, like, when I'm doing the welding, I'll get it up in the air, I'll start welding. If I need to lower it, I can lower it without power. If I need to raise it back up, just plug it back up. I don't need it hardwired right now. So pretty much this is temporary where it's sitting at, because in the future, once the body is going out to paint, if we decide to do the addition to the house, this has got to come back out of the way, and the setup's going to be totally different. It's not going to be facing this direction. In fact, it's going to be facing back that direction towards the west. But right now, this is where it needs to be to get the job done. Anyways, I'm going to sign off here for right now, guys. We'll see you in a bit.